Hello and welcome to another TST Industries install video. In this episode, I will be walking you through the installation of these TST Industries flush mount signals on a Honda CBR 300R. They also fit the 250R. It's essentially the same fairing configuration. Our signals are available in a choice of smoked or clear lens. They feature 15 really bright LEDs and they make a nice addition to your bike by allowing you to remove these stock signals and replacing them with a plug-and-play direct fit replacement flush mount. This is a very simple installation. It'll take about 15 minutes. Let's begin. All right, so step one will be to identify the wires for this right signal here. So you can just trace the signal stalk to the inside and trace the wires up, and there is a routing tab here that you could unbend and that'll allow you access to this wire. So now you have a green and a blue wire here that will need to be disconnected. These are bullet connectors. You simply pull in opposite directions and they'll just come out. And now you can grab a 14mm open-ended wrench and you can use that to undo the nut. Sort of a cumbersome fit here. And once you crack it loose, it comes off pretty easy. So my hand's probably covering up the action here. This is what's happening. Once we remove this nut, the signal will come out to the outside of the fairing. Well, you just got to make sure that the spacer here goes with it. So now we can put this to the side. And configure our TST Industries signal. So our signals come with spacers. For this bike, we are going to use a spacer. So the flat end goes towards the signal and the pocketed end will go into the well. We'll insert it through the hole that the OEM signal came out of and use the flange nut from the TST Industries kit. Insert it over the wires, flange first, and get it around the threads now. You just want to start the thread at this point. And once you have thread engagement, you can bottom it out, but leave it just a little loose. And at this point, you can just fine-tune the placement of the signal within the well. Once you find a nice spot that you're comfortable with, just tighten this down. Make sure you don't over tighten it. Don't use any tools. I typically just use my hands, my fingers on the nut. It does have a butterfly type feature on the nut that allows you dexterity, enough pressure to place on the nut to tighten it enough. If you were to over tighten this, you can snap the threads. And at this point, we will just plug this in. And on our signal, the black is negative. On the OEM harness, the green is negative. So we will plug that in. And then yellow is positive on our signal, and blue is the signal lead on the right side of this Honda. And once this is plugged in, we'll make sure that these vinyl caps are over the bullet connectors. And these are pretty good here. I'll just make sure that I have the bullet connectors bottomed out. And you want to make sure that these caps are over so that your connection is insulated and it doesn't short out and cause your fuse to blow. And now we can actually test it. As you can see, this bike has a running light function that comes on as soon as you turn on the bike. And then the signaling function is working now. But as you could probably tell at this moment, it's in hyper flash, which means it's flashing faster than the OEM rate. And that's typical when you replace an incandescent type light bulb with LEDs. The system thinks that there's a light bulb out because the LEDs draw much less current. So to fix that, you would need to change the flasher relay to an LED type. In this video, we're not going to get into that, but you can look on our channel and find the LED flasher installation video. We have one of those parts for this bike, and the installation is pretty simple. I hope you guys check that out. So at this point, we'll power down the bike and continue with this installation. You can notice here, we actually pulled out one of these routing clips from its captive geometry. Let me quickly duck my head in here and find where that is. Okay, so it's gonna be right there. So that gets replaced in that, and we will shove the wires up above this routing clip and clamp the wires all back down, and this side will be complete. There's one detail I want to draw your guys' attention to at this point. These signals do not require any sort of modification to the bike, but there is a trade-off there. As you can see, they leave a small gap around the entire perimeter. Now, if you're okay with that and you like the way these look, good to go. If not, you can look for another video we're going to be making, which features flush mount signals that filled the entire well a little bit better, but do require a small modification to the inner fairing plastic piece. You can watch for that on our channel. At this point, we will be moving forward with the other side installation, and it's the exact mirror image procedure of the right side. So at this point, I'm going to cut off the commentary and just move forward with procedure. All right, so it's looking like this installation is complete. Bike is ready to go. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you check out our other videos on this motorcycle. See you guys next time.